If you really like this episode, please support our podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talco Supremo. Hey, John, can you cover the Speed Freak Killers for me? This devious duo get hopped up on crystal meth, kill more than 72 people, and dump their bodies down some Central California mine shafts. One particular victim I remember vividly, as her pictures were posted on billboards for years around where I live. I actually had vivid nightmares at the time about some of the recoveries of the victims from the local well. I've never forgotten it. Kara. All right, hold on a second. That's some good shit right there. Let's do this thing.
Jesse, do you want to build a meth lab? Come on, let's go and cook. I never see you anymore. Come out the door, let's make our product by the book. We'll make lots of money, just you and me. We'll stack the cash up high. Do you want to build a meth lab? A rolling RV meth lab. Away, Mr. White. Just one try.
All right, guys, that right there is Do You Want to Build a Meth Lab? The Breaking Bad and Frozen parody mashup on YouTube by Animeme. You can find that there. A lot of you guys probably watched Breaking Bad before, and so I thought that'd be fitting with tonight's episode. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Thanks for everyone who came out to our Asheville show.
Yes, it was a great time. We had so much fun with y'all and had delicious beer.
Mm-hmm. Very delicious.
Well, I want to say welcome to our newest Taco Supremo, Rowan.
Hey, Rowan.
Rowan.
And Rowan's from...
I want to say...
Wisconsin.
She's a truck driver.
I know she said she's driven a lot through the Dakotas. I bet there's some weird shit out there.
Oh, yeah. Especially for a truck driver. There's a lot of female truck drivers lately.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a growing female field. That's pretty cool.
They make a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be really scared to drive one, honestly.
Why?
Because it's so big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
My grandfather was a truck driver.
Yeah,
it
he was.
made me too nervous.
He was a truck driver.
He was. And actually, apparently, so he worked for a few different companies, but he worked for this one company and he designed this model of a truck. I don't remember what it was or what the model was, but apparently someone stole it and took it for their own. So he could have, made some money off that, but he did not, alas.
Oh.
And here we are today.
Here we are, still hustling. And tonight...
We're doing meth.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Nicole, tell us
we're not.
us about your first experience with meth.
My first experience with meth was watching it on Breaking Bad. And that's about it. That's about my only experience with meth. So tonight we are drinking Breaking Bad Blue Margaritas.
Mm.
Oh, is that tequila?
Of course
It's a margarita.
tequila. It's a
Oh, my
margarita.
God. No, it's actually good.
No, this is the perfect amount of tequila.
Ugh.
I like it a lot.
So it is blue curacao, triple sec, tequila, and lime juice, and a sugar cube.
All right, so continuing. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. But tonight there actually are a surprise. We're continuing with our 12 shots of Christmas, and somehow the bottles did not make it into the box of shots. So I truly do not know what we're drinking tonight. So you're going to have to give me a flavor profile and I'll be able to tell you so I can sing my song.
But you did buy them, so you can probably figure them out.
I mean, let's talk about my short-term memory for a second. It's pretty much non-existent.
Did y'all at least clean these out?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
You going first?
Hold on.
I don't know. I fucking hate this segment.
It's my favorite.
I can't wait till this Christmas is over. Christmas sucks, man.
We only have one more episode to record
here's my
together.
thoughts about
Christmas is
Christmas.
bullshit. It's a bunch of
I get really
materialism,
sad.
I'll
bullshit.
return your presents.
Wait until I sing the song. But let me first say that I get really sad. John. I get really sad around Christmas time because I feel like it's... Did I already say this? I feel like it's more romantic than Valentine's Day, and like I'm just by myself. And I'm not trying to throw a pity party. I'm just saying, like, I love Christmas for like the family aspect and like there's just a good feeling, but it's also sad for me. And that's why we drink.
I mean, I guess I used to feel that way too when I was single, so I get it.
I don't feel that way at all.
On the seventh shot of Christmas, John picked from the tree.
It smells like pool water.
Ew. Chlorine?
Oh, fudge.
Pearl blueberry vodka. Yes. On the eighth shot of Christmas, Nicole picked from the tree.
I think that might be another Crown Royal apple.
Crown Royal apple.
Jen, you seem like you do not like this anymore.
On the ninth shot of Christmas, I picked from the tree.
Jen drank from the bottle.
I don't know what that was.
Okay, let's get started. All right, tonight's story. Well, so the hint was speed freak.
Well, you kind of made the hint meth.
Meth. The
And
hint,
then you said speed freak would be better.
and meth, yeah. So what?
But speed and meth are not the same things, are they?
Yes, they are.
Really? Is it just a slang
No, it's just a
terminology?
slang term. It's like, when you go buy crack, you can also say, hey, you got crank. They know, like the guy in the yellow parka knows that you're buying crack. If you say crank or dope or,
I thought dope was weed.
or nuggets.
Yeah, I thought dope was weed too.
No, dope could be anything. Y'all need to.
Dope is just drugs?
Yeah. Yo, you got some dope? Where are we going? Who are we killing, Nicole?
Meth.
Well,
I feel-
actually, meth kills a lot of people on its own.
I know, but there's a couple places where it's like prevalent. Isn't it? I know it's prevalent in like Cape Cod and stuff like that. There's a big meth problem.
I thought it was heroin.
Oh, you're right.
It's whatever they can get their damn
All right,
hands
all
on.
right. Well, Breaking Bad was in New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico.
All right, I'm going to say we're going to New Mexico tonight solely for the fact that we're drinking Breaking Bad cocktails. And I think there is a serial killer who is lacing his meth with like cyanide or something like that and killing people.
All right, Jen, go ahead.
Canada.
Good guess.
They don't do meth in Canada.
Sure they do.
You sure you don't want to change your answer, Jen?
Canada.
Don't fall for that shit.
Tonight's episode is for one of our Togos Primos who thinks I have an aversion to doing her episodes.
Oh, Kara.
I saw that.
And you were like, damn, did you change your story just because she said that? Like, were you going to do something else?
No. Yes, I did because it made me upset.
Oh, well, Kara, nicely played. Nicely played, Kara. Nice reverse psychology.
It's one that I've wanted to do for a long time anyway. Honestly, it's a Monday and I was feeling kind of blah. So I needed to pick me up. So I thought a good meth story would be right up my alley for a Monday. So we're doing a meth story. All right, we're going to November 13th, 1998.
1998 was the year that you told the girl last night.
Yeah, all right. So we went to get ice cream last night, and the final charge came out to $19.98. And I looked at the girl who was like young as shit, and I was like, oh, that's the year I was born. And she looked at me like I was old as dirt. And I said, oh, okay, I bet that's when you were born. And she goes, no, I was born 4 years after that.
In 2002.
In 2002. So I was like, whoa, that blew my mind. I was like, whoa, you don't even know what the Y2K bug is? That's the first thing I thought of, Y2K bug. And she looked at me like, the what? She's like, take your receipt and get out of here, fucking grandpa.
She literally said that. No, just
And then it like really dawned on me. I was like, holy shit, she doesn't even know what Y2K is. That was a big ass scare, man. We thought the whole
thought the
nuclear
world was
warheads
going to
are going to
end.
blow
I
up.
know. I remember all these things.
There still exists a general state of either denial, complacency, or even apathy about both the reality and the potential effects of Y2K.
I mean, a girl that young, if you say 9/11, she doesn't know what that is.
She was actually born after 9/11, yeah.
So, it's the same. Like, we don't know what the fuck, like, D-Day is and Vietnam War. Like, we don't really know
D-Day
that
is
shit.
actually the day that the troops stormed the beaches in Normandy.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, like, we don't
and the
know
Vietnam
We
War
didn't
was a conflict that
experience.
happened
what
in
was-
Vietnam.
what was
because
the
the
day,
United
Jen?
States.
What day
in-
was D-Day?
It was November 5th, 1944.
No.
1945.
So you don't know it either.
No, it was.
But you know
it was
when...
45.
But
November
you know...
6th, 1945.
No, that...
May.
D-Day's
No,
in- D-Day's in-
God.
D-Day's in
Okay,
June.
never mind. Okay,
D-Day
no,
is in
no,
June.
it's June 6th, 1945. June 6th, 1945.
Yes.
I don't
that
know
is
why I
correct.
said November.
Holy shit, I'm
It's June
leaving
6th.
all that in there.
It's
But it-
June
but you-
6th, 1945.
Okay, so she knows the history, but she didn't live through it. Like, we
yeah, it's
actually
the
have
same
an
with us. Like,
active
we don't know...
memory of where we
yeah.
were when 9/11
Because we
happened.
can't connect to it. It's just like them old timers at the VA.
We learn about
know.
it, but we don't know it. We've never
Exactly.
experienced it.
Like, we're always going to know what 9/11 is, and we're going to tell our snot-nosed grandkids all about it. And they'll be like, whatever, dude. Whatever they say in 50 years from now.
No cap.
Eat my shorts, Grandpa, or whatever the fuck. We're going November 13th, 1998. It was a Friday, the
13th.
13th. Damn, Nicole, you're
It was
slow
just the
tonight.
Friday the 13th, this past Friday.
In 1999, this girl that we're talking about, and I cannot pronounce her last name, Cindy Vanderheiden, pretty sure that's how you spell it. She was 25 years old. I'm going to show you a picture of her right now. If you
Where are we going?
Oh, I didn't tell you where we're going?
No.
We're going to the very industrious town of Linden, California.
Oh.
And we're actually going into the Central Valley. What do you know about that, Nicole? It's basically the agricultural spot of the U.S.
Artichokes.
The part where wine country is? But isn't that really...
No, it's more like just staple crops. It's
Isn't-
like 40% of
Oranges.
40%
Almonds.
of the produce that we consume comes from around this area.
Huh.
So
Romaine lettuce with E. coli.
okay, so here's where we're going. Right here, smack dab in the vagina of California.
So, like, kind of close to Sacramento.
Shout out to all you Californians and shout out to all you truck drivers because a lot of truck drivers do meth. So I'm dedicating this to you guys. Not that you guys do meth.
Not that our newest Taco Supremo does meth or anything like that, but,
All right, we're going to Linden, California, November 13th, 1998. It was a Friday, the
13th.
13th. Okay. Cindy Vanderheiden was 25 in 1999. Okay. All right, go to where, Nicole, to see these pictures?
talkmurder.com.
All right, talkmore.com, see these pictures. That's Cindy Vanderheiden right there.
All right. I mean, she looked wholesome and nice. Shoulder length, curly, scrunchy hair. Bangs.
She's blonde. She looks,
I don't
how
know
old
if
do you
she's a
think
natural
She looked
blonde.
25-ish.
She looks younger than 25, I think.
No, I'd say she's early 30s.
Will you say, just
I
by
think she
looking
looks
at,
young.
would you say just by looking at this picture right here, she was a heavy meth user?
No.
Well, she was, I don't know if she was a heavy meth user, but she was into meth.
Oh, she dabbled, huh?
She dabbled, yeah. Her father actually owned a bar that's not there anymore called the Linden Inn Bar. Okay, so this is a small rural town. Not much to do, but, besides meth, obviously. Her father owned this bar, the Linden Inn Bar, and the mother and the father and Cindy all worked in this bar. Now, she didn't work there she actually stopped working there for a while because just like a lot of people in the 90s, especially in certain towns, rural towns, they get addicted to meth because meth became a huge thing.
Okay.
So she went from drinking in the bar and stuff like that, and then she started doing other drugs, marijuana, stuff like that, and then she went to meth, just, the natural progression. All right. Now, she actually hits rock bottom in 1997, and that's when her parents kind of lost trust in her, and not only lost trust, but didn't trust her at all, because if you're a meth addict, you're stealing your mom's, bracelet that her great-great-great-grandma gave to her to buy some fucking meth, right?
Was that the definition of rock bottom, stealing her grandmother's necklace, or did she end
I
up
don't
in
know
the
what
hospital?
her rock bottom is, but I know...
You know when it was.
I know I wouldn't trust a meth head.
I thought the definition of rock bottom was when the rocks are at the bottom of a pit.
I'm talking about drugs, Jen. Drugs.
Oh, so
Stay
the
with me.
definition of rock bottom is when you'll do anything it takes to get the rock.
Or
Yeah.
no, I think rock bottom is when you're at the lowest point, and that's your turning point.
No, you can't go any lower.
Yeah,
Because there's rock on the bottom. It's self-explanatory.
yeah, I know. But usually, when you hit rock bottom, it means yes,
guys
there's no lower to go. So that means you
I know what
get
rock
better.
bottom means. I was trying to make a pun.
You guys have obviously never been addicted to methamphetamine.
Correct.
Okay. Now, she actually hits rock bottom in 1997, and she is at her worst. And this meth addiction has got her, just like it does everyone. You can't escape it. And her parents completely lose trust in her. They throw her out the house, which is what I would do, obviously, if she's stealing all your stuff, your spoons and your knives to buy hits of meth.
Yeah, that ain't good.
But she actually turns her life around in late 1998. She actually pulls herself out of the rut, the rock bottom, and she starts crawling her way back up to the top, going to methadone clinics and everything like that. I looked up a little bit about meth. Meth used to be a prescription drug.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fucking
For
nuts?
what?
For anxiety and sleep.
But if doesn't it get you up?
Yeah, but I guess it also helps you sleep. I don't know. She started earning the trust back from her family around 1998. She gets a job as a computer technician, so she's going back to school and stuff like that. She's a recent graduate of high school. The family actually lets her live back in their family home, even though it was rocky at first. They make it work, and she actually starts doing really good. She does good enough to buy her own car, with her own finances. She got a job, not working at the bar anymore, but at that computer tech place. She buys her own car, and she's doing good from all accounts. What do you think is going to happen to her?
She's gonna get murdered.
Abducted.
By aliens? What's that one documentary we were watching? This guy was like, oh, I get abducted by aliens 10 times a year, and there's this alien female that has sex with me, and then I told my wife that I was cheating on her with this alien
it was something
creature.
that you put on at lunchtime, and I was what the fuck?
And then his wife refused to be interviewed on camera. She's like, this guy.
I'm surprised the wife was still with him. I'd be like, who the fuck are you having sex with if you're not having sex with an alien?
That's not cheating, though.
Yes, it is.
With an alien, they don't even have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is not cheating if it's a different species. Wait, what the fuck?
Okay, should I be concerned about the goats that you're hanging out with, or
The dogs.
yeah?
Go ahead, read that.
She spent a lot of time with my parents. She really didn't go out on dates that much. Her relaxing time was sunbathing or just hanging out with her cat and her nieces, said Cindy's sister, Kim.
Yeah, so that's her sister and one more, if you will.
She was real happy, and she was really happy with the work, and the people really liked her at work, and she had big plans on just going right along, said Cindy's father, John Vanderheiden.
All right, so November 13, 1998, it's karaoke night at the bar, at the Linden Inn bar, the one that her dad owns. She actually invites her father, but since he's got to wake up early in the morning and do stuff around the workplace and all that stuff, he refuses to go. It's just a normal Friday night karaoke. Now, so she goes along. There was a really good crowd that night. She's drinking a little bit. She's just having fun with a friend. And there's these two guys there that she knows from growing up, kind of not really friends, but acquaintances, if you will. These two guys, Wesley Shermantine is one of them, and Loren Herzog. These are the two barflies that she meets. Now, Loren is a guy. It's spelled Loren. Loren
Okay.
Herzog. Yep. Okay. Now, these two men had a plan, and I'm going to go into their complete history in a second. But they had a plan the night before they ended up at the Linden Inn bar that night, they've been smoking meth all night, like they always do. You know, typical Friday night, at least in this house. Go to talkmore.com to see the picture of the two men. Loren Herzog was the more attractive one. He had the long hair, the tattoos, kind of easygoing guy, you know. And the other guy, his friend, Wes Shermantine, he was the not so good looking one, but he was the one that would offer meth to the women. So here's how it would work. Loren would approach a girl in the bar and say, hey, you know,
Man
signature
bun.
pickup lines, you know, stroke his wavy hair back, you know, woo him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once he gets them talking, that's when Shermantine, his best friend, will come up and be like, hey, you guys want to party? I got some crank, you know. Then that's their plan, and hopefully they would get laid. Okay, that's like their plan. Let me show you these guys right quick. Nicole, this is Loren, Loren, Herzog.
Ew.
What the fuck?
He was the good-looking one?
Yeah, he's a good-looking one.
Dax Shepard with a beard and a mullet.
He's got a pretty good defined jawline.
Okay. If he shaved and cut his hair,
He looks like
I
Brad
could
Pitt.
I could kind of see like a Chris Hemsworth if I'm like really blurring my eyes.
Are you on
there.
meth?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, cut his hair, dye his hair blonde, and shave his face. Wouldn't be terrible. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But the mullet and the goatee gots to go.
All right, let me show you his friend.
And he was the good-looking one.
He's the good-looking one.
I mean, he did have a strong jawline. I'll give him that, but it's hard to see.
Here's
past.
the not so
Oh
good-looking one.
God! Oh,
He's the one. This is Wesley Shermantine. He's the one that would
I
come
fucking
over
just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
after the women were wooed a little bit.
No,
and
no,
say,
he is someone's son.
hey, you guys want to do some meth? You guys want to party?
That is quite the porn stash.
If he came up to me, I'm pretty sure I would automatically assume that he was on meth.
So he had a porn stash and he was disheveled with bags under his eyes and he just looked gross.
Now,
That's the type of person that approaches me usually.
both of these men were married. Both of these men are married and have kids. Keep that in mind.
Oh God!
And actually,
wait, so they're going to bars trying to get laid?
yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, they're not really trying to get laid. I'm gonna tell you what they're doing, but they're talking and all this stuff. Now she has to go. Cindy has to go to work early in the morning, but they ask her, "Hey, you know, we're having fun drinking and doing shots of tequila and all this stuff, but do you want to party? Do you want to really party?" Now she's been sober as far as meth for, you know, going on, I don't know, a little over a year. But the addiction is real. You know, she really wants to do some meth when she sees it, right? I mean, once an addict, always an addict, right? I don't know if that's the saying. They all three leave the bar and they go to the local cemetery and they all start doing meth right there.
The cemetery, the hot spot to do drugs?
People are dying to get in there.
I don't know. They just went. I mean, because there's no cops that are going to come around there. It's like an old cemetery.
Like a common thing.
Oh no! I mean, for meth heads, yeah.
Yeah.
Meth heads
like,
don't
I
really
wonder
care
if
where they do it.
cemeteries are a hot spot to do drugs, is what I was alluding
I mean, I guess they're private. I don't know. They go to the cemetery, and that's when Shermantine usually makes his move because he's got to wait until the girl's either completely wasted or completely high on meth or all of the above to actually get some, right? So he starts pressuring her into sexual acts. All right.
So he's pretty much assaulting them and raping them.
Yeah, he's assaulting and raping. She actually refused. And that, as you'll see, you don't refuse this guy because he gets really pissed off. He starts punching her in the face. Boom, 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 with both of his hands, right? Now, they're a little bit outside the car. They're not in the car. They're kind of like leaning on top of the car. He then pulls out a knife and puts it to her throat. Now, at this point, he's demanding oral sex, okay? She's screaming, all this stuff, but they're all high on meth. Then he rapes her while the friend is watching. Then he can't let her live Because, I mean, they know the dad. They know her dad and everything. They know the bar owner and everything. So they have to get rid of the body. They have to kill her. So he cuts her throat. This is Loren Herzog telling of the event right here in his perspective. I want you to keep in mind that both of these guys blamed all these murders on each other, right?
So do we feel like we have a good sense of who committed what?
Theories vary, but this is what you got right here.
Cindy Vanderhyde has been missing for quite some time. And you've spoken with Detective Shuffle, you've spoken with a few other people, and have provided several different statements. Some of which we know to be true, and some of it we know not to be true.
She kind of went back to go back to her car. She said that several times, Wasn't going that way. I'm still in the backseat to say something.
Okay, let me try to translate what this dude's saying. Basically, he's saying he's in the backseat of the car, and Wes, his friend, is getting rejected and all this stuff, and she's like, I want to go back to my car, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to understand this guy.
He started telling her to do stuff, and it's kind of a back and forth argument kind of thing. And I needed to do stuff as in sexual acts, I guess is what you call it. And he's getting wilder and wilder and wound up more and more. I told him at one point, Wesley, don't kill her, man. Take her back to her car. When I got out of the car, I started backing up on top of him, but holding her down, And I guess mostly towards the end, I remember just letting them natural.
Okay, so what he said right there is Wes was on top of her, holding her down. He slits her throat, and then did you hear what he said? Wes says, as the throat is slit, he says, let it come naturally. Or, excuse me, he says, let it go naturally. That's what he tells Cindy after he slit her throat. Just listen one more time.
On top of him, but holding her down, Just let it come natural.
You see? Let her go naturally. So Wes is actually telling Cindy after he just slit her throat, just let it go naturally. Basically go into the light, die or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of fucked up.
Let go.
Yeah, let go naturally, whatever. So those are the fucking...
So he's saying it's this guy. Is the other guy saying it was the other one?
Yeah, we're talking about Tweedledee and Tweedledum tonight. All right, this is... The body was then disposed and later recovered mixed with bones of multiple other victims in the Calaveras County decommissioned mines. Around this area we're going tonight, there's a lot of old mines, from that thing in California. What was it called?
The Gold Rush?
The Gold Rush. Nicole,
Wait, are
you
you saying that they were buried with other victims of
Yeah.
murder?
The body was disposed and later recovered in the mines with multiple other victims in the Calaveras County decommissioned mines. Now, the two best friends, this and the other guy, Herzog and Wesley, after they disposed the body, they return home to their wives and kids like nothing has happened. A friend actually followed Cindy that night and claimed that she actually made it to the parents' driveway, but then she actually drives her car. She didn't actually go into the house. She should have because she had work. Instead, she drives her car to the cemetery. That was a meeting point so they can all do meth. Okay. When the dad, John Vanderhyden, wakes up, he thinks that his daughter is already at work because her car is not there. So he didn't actually realize she was missing until later that night. And this is what he said.
I looked out and Cindy's car was gone, and so I thought she already went to work, said John Vanderhyden.
So he actually spots her car at the cemetery, and that's when they file a missing person report. Then, obviously, he's the bar owner. He finds out who she was talking with, and he knows right then and there that it's bad because these guys are trouble.
Herzog used to come into the bar, said Linden Inn owner and father of the Speed Freak Killer's final victim, Kim Vanderhyden. He was a big guy with long hair and tattoos and wore cut-off shirts. And I mean, he tried to act like a big guy, bad guy, and the girls seemed to have thought he was attractive. I thought he looked like a punk. He seemed to get along with everybody. How long have these guys been at it doing this type of thing? I'm assuming this is not the only murder since there were other bodies that she was found with.
There's plenty of other bodies. Maybe this will give you a good idea if you want to read this.
The men offered meth for free or at a discounted price to women, and if the women accepted, one or both of the men would demand sex after they all got high. If the woman refused their advances, she would be murdered and thrown in a well.
Ooh.
So that's basically what we're talking about tonight. This story, as I said, is for Cara. This is the Speed Freak Killers. There's two of them. They're two best friends. They went on a 15-year meth-fueled murdering spree and killed a lot of people. Okay. How many people do you think they killed?
37.
13.
This is Pat Withrow, the San Joaquin County Sheriff.
There have been numbers up to the number 100 bodies out there that could be out there still.
What?
So those families deserve closure, and it's our job to do it.
100 bodies buried out there in the mines. They're still finding bodies to this day. There's probably the count is somewhere between 20 that they know for sure, and the private detectives and investigators surmise is about 70, but now they're thinking it's over 100.
Holy shit.
This is a 15-year killing spree that has been fueled by meth and psychopathy. I don't know. All right, Loren Joseph Herzog, he was born December 8th, 1965, from Central Valley in the town of Linden. Okay, same as a Linden bar. California, he was handsome, unless you're Nicole and she doesn't think. That's like, he had a good California vibe going on, like the surfer vibe.
I mean, like he could have done things to his appearance to be more attractive.
And then, again, he's also on meth, so he probably doesn't look as good as he could.
It's probably true.
Now, he was handsome, that's a quote from a newspaper, and never without a date. Their words, not mine. Long hair attracted many women, started a family during the 1980s, and that time he actually started tattooing himself. He had a few. One said, made and fueled by hate and restrained by reality, and the other one... And
That's a lot to tattoo on yourself. I wonder how long that took him.
Yeah, no shit. Like, also, where was it? Like, that's a long sentence
on
to
his
put
leg.
somewhere.
And the other tattoo on
it
his
like spins his.
the other tattoo on
stand.
his leg said, "Made the devil do it." You know, like devil made me do it, but his is "Made the devil do it."
Wow, that's dumb.
Yeah, he's dumb.
He has a lot of pull.
These are just
District Attorney Thomas Testa think their relationship played on each other's strengths rather than being totally dominated by Shermantine. In terms of how the duo picked up their female victims, Loren was the good-looking rock and roller. He opened the door, Testa said. Wes was the one who got them and killed them. Wait, so how did they meet?
I'm going to tell you that right now.
I didn't know if I just missed that part. Sorry.
All right, Wesley Howard Shermantine. Well, you said that correctly the first time. He was actually born on February 3rd. I put February 34th. What the fuck? He was born,
Also known as March 5th.
he was born on February 24th, 1966. Now, he was actually born in an upper class family. The paper said upper middle class, but it's actually was born into a pretty wealthy, at least for us, lifestyle. His father was a very influential and very prominent building contractor in the Central Valley. They meet because they go to the same high school. They become best friends in kindergarten.
Oh.
So these guys were in kindergarten as best friends. Now, there's a dynamic that is here that is very important to see, and you'll see in a minute, and you'll see later in this episode more of it. But Wesley Shermantine is the bully, the aggressive, the demanding one, and then Herzog, the best friend, is polar opposite. He's quiet, shy, pushed around type of thing. So it's a very dynamic relationship.
Hey guys, Nicole from Talk Murder to Me here. As you know, I love puzzles and games, almost as much as I like true crime. When I want to challenge my brain, my go-to game is Best Fiends. It's a game you can play right on your phone without using the internet and your data, which is perfect for traveling or when I'm somewhere where the service is terrible. So Best Fiends is honestly a lifesaver. I love having something to do to actively pass the time, and it's so much better than scrolling through social media over and over. I just made it to level 30 and I only started playing a few days ago. It's engaging and a casual game that anyone can play, but is made for adults. It's colorful, entertaining, and I'm totally obsessed. Jen, John, and I are trying to get to the new levels as fast as we can. Engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must-play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
Shermantine is a bully. He bullies weaker kids on the bus. He's just uses his weight to just push down little kids. And he even beat up his own friend, Herzog, Loren Herzog, in kindergarten. And ever since that, he says, quote, I've been scared of him for so long. There's only one person in the world that scares me, and that's him. And that was after he beat him up really bad in kindergarten.
Wow, he said that in kindergarten?
Yeah. No, I think that is what
He got
he's
beat
saying.
up in kindergarten. So here's him talking.
Have you ever tried to fight him yourself? Yeah, when he was in kindergarten. But how about now? Do you think you could take him? No. That's the problem, I guess, because I don't think I can take him.
But he was in on it. That's kind of a cop-out.
Bargain with him more or less.
What's that?
I said, but he was in on it. It's not like he was...
Yeah.
All he needed to do was not partake if he wasn't interested in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to lay out tonight, because this is every case, every killer has a very unique thing, and the unique thing with this is the dynamic. Most of the interviews come from Herzog right here, and he's playing the battered, I had to do it because he had this power over me. He made me do it. I didn't want to do it type of thing. Ever since kindergarten, he used to beat me up. He used to bully me, and he always had this power over me, as you'll hear. Okay, so he actually blames it all on his friend, saying that he was, if he didn't do it, his friend would kill him type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right. He was definitely in on it. Dolly Shermantine, the sister, says, quote, we were spoiled growing up. Now, they had a game room, pool room, darts, video games, new clothes, allowances. And Wesley Shermantine actually got a brand new car at 16, like a nice convertible car. They grew up in a nice, lavish lifestyle. They had everything. I mean, his dad was basically rich, and they got everything they wanted. Now, Herzog wasn't as wealthy, but he was still middle class.
What did Shermantine's dad do?
He was a building contractor for the Central Valley, and very prominent one, made a lot of money, had a lot of jobs, contracting jobs, stuff like that. The reason I'm telling you all this is because when these killers actually get caught, these speed freak killers, the psychologists come in and try to figure out why they went on this 15-year killing spree.
Ooh, question.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know like their exact IQ, but like were they intelligent people?
I've watched the entire interrogation from Loren Herzog, and that guy is dumb as rocks.
Well,
he is about as dumb as I've ever seen. I mean, just complete stupid.
Was
and it
the
may
other
be the
guy
meth.
smarter?
I doubt it. I mean, they're both on meth. How smart can you be? I mean,
well, I just think it's interesting. Like one had a stronger influence over the other. Well, so they killed at least 20, maybe 100.
Well, just let me get on it. Okay. The father actually spent plenty of time with him because the psychologists, they look at a serial killer and it's like, oh, was he neglected as a kid? Not in this case, because the father spent a lot of time with both because they're best friends. The father would take them hunting, fishing. They would explore the mines. And this plays into where they buried all the bodies because they know all the good spots, right? And
was Loren's parents involved in their lives or just...
No, there's an interview with Loren's dad, and he seems more strict, and it seems like he didn't like Wes at all, but there wasn't as much involvement as I could see. They would spend all the time at Wes's house. They got the game room and all that shit. Yeah. Now, many experts say that these men, because they loved hunting animals, they loved guns a lot. They got pictures, thousands of pictures of them as young lads with guns and killing deer and all that stuff. Many experts will say that the two men twisted hunting animals into humans, what they called the ultimate kill.
It's like the that short story, The Most Dangerous Game.
Oh, yeah, I remember
You know?
that story. I read that in high school.
Yeah.
In sociology class. Was that the one with the lottery?
They
had,
I think
like,
that was a
lottery
different
numbers?
one.
That's the Hunger Games.
No, it was a short story.
Yes.
Oh, that's
but-
The Lottery by Shirley Jackson.
Maybe.
That is The Lottery by Shirley Jackson.
I think
You
you're
know,
right.
when they pull the number and then
Yeah.
they get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But The Most Dangerous Game, I remember that one too.
I think they're known as family that pretty much does what they want to do. If you got in their way, I think they probably dealt with you in a way that wasn't to walk away or turn the other cheek, said Cliff Johnson, a former sergeant with the Stockton Police Department who worked the case.
Okay, so he's talking mainly about Wes Shermantine's family. The father and the mother were both alcoholics, and especially the mothers, we see in a lot of cases, she was just brutal. Now, when Wes was growing up, they were abused. All the family was abused. Even though they were rich, they were still abused. They would actually make Wes dance around the room while the mother and father were completely drunk and shooting at his feet, like with real guns, like boom, boom, shooting at his feet, like in the fucking cartoons, right? And he'd dance.
Pew, pew.
And if he moved, then he would have to stand there longer. Now, the mother was the worst. And, as I said, the father was a contractor. And if someone didn't pay the bill on time or someone, tried to cheat him over, the mother would get involved. And at one point, the mother actually goes to one of the neighbors' homes that owed them, the family, money and refused to pay. She goes over there with a bulldozer and bulldozes his house while the guy's inside of it. The actual bulldozer cart was like 2 inches away from decapitating the guy in the room. Now, this is the mother of the Shermantines riding a bulldozer into someone's living quarters in their house.
Oh my God.
I mean, just think about that. That's how fucking crazy the mother is.
I feel like that would happen if I was driving a bulldozer, but not intentionally. If you let me behind the wheel of a bulldozer, you may get your house knocked into, but I wouldn't intentionally knock your house down.
Right.
Yeah. So that's jail time, right?
Apparently not.
The guy didn't even file a police report.
What?
Because everyone is scared as hell of the Shermantines. They were basically the mafia. Not mafia, but
They were just a big, powerful name.
Powerful name, yeah. They had money and they were just ruthless. Completely ruthless. And no one would even file a police report because if you filed a police report, that guy's going to come kill you and make it look like an accident. And everyone knew that. So it's easy to see where this asshole gets his craziness from, right?
It seems that Wesley was the sort of domineering, aggressive, dominant figure in their relationship growing up, said former girlfriend of Herzog and sister of the duo's last murder victim, Cindy Vanderheiden. They introduced themselves as brothers. They ran like brothers. They acted like brothers. And the protection aspect in everything. They'd lie for each other like brothers, continued Cindy Vanderheiden's sister.
Yeah, so let me clarify. Cindy Vanderheiden's sister is Kimberly. She actually had an affair with Herzog, Loren Herzog, when he was married. Okay.
Gotcha.
So the
That's why I
sister,
was
the
confused
little
before.
sister is going out to do meth with the guy that her own sister has
Was
been
sleeping
screwing,
But Wesley was the one who assaulted her, supposedly.
Yes, supposedly. Now, the interrogations are coming from one guy. The other guy, Shermantine, basically just shut up and didn't say anything. Let's go junior high school right now. Both these guys are in junior high. This is in the early 1980s, 1982, I believe. This is Halloween night. Wes Shermantine's sister, Dolly, goes out with Wes and Loren, and they're all drinking and partying. This is on Halloween night. They're 16 years old. they all end up going back to Wes's house and like spend time in their game room to play pool and stuff like that. And when everyone's sleeping, the door opens and Dolly's in the bed sleeping. And Loren, the friend that stayed over, the best friend that stayed over, comes in there and holds her down and rapes her, like violently, really bad rape. Now, the next day, she tells her entire family about the incident, and they didn't even care at all. It's not like they didn't believe her. It's like they don't care about their family members, their sons and daughters, right?
Wow.
They just don't give a shit. So Dolly goes and tells her brother, Wes Shermantine, and he doesn't care at all. And in fact, a few weeks later, he comes in there, her own brother, and rapes her own sister.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
how fucked up this family is.
That's awful. When I was in junior high, we all had to come back, and Loren had spent the night at our house, said Dolly Shermantine about the Halloween slumber party. And he snuck into my room that night when I was asleep, and he held me down and raped me.
So in the
Like, how can you trust anyone if something like that happens to you? Not necessarily just for, family members, but I imagine that would make it even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
So in the Shermantine family, most of the people think that Shermantine was the main killer in all these 100, right? And maybe that's the case, and Herzog is just, the tag-along type of puppy dog type of thing, and it kind of makes sense, as I'll tell you, that there was some power that this guy had over him, right? But that's pretty much what everyone thought. But in the Shermantine family, it wasn't really physical abuse. There was physical abuse, but it was mostly emotional abuse. You're worthless, you're stupid, all this stuff, just being battered by their drunken mother. As they get older, they start becoming alcoholics and drug abusers and thugs, okay? They would always be in this Linden Inn bar. That's like their home away from home. They would always stay in there and just drink all night and then do meth. I mean, they were just meth heads, right? A lot of the people knew that they were killing people because if you take meth, which I've never taken meth, but I was looking up, about meth, you become really talkative, right? And confident. So you tell everyone about your killing sprees.
Well, it's an upper.
And they did. They told everyone about their killing sprees, but no one really believed them. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were literally killing a lot of people.
Well, they probably, the fact that they may have been known drug users probably discredited their stories to a lot of people. So that's probably like, oh, those guys, they're just meth heads. That's
a good point.
Yeah.
Well, how about the victims themselves? So if there were so many victims that they found, like, were they mostly prostitutes or random people?
Yeah.
So
Mostly prostitutes, yeah.
They flew under the radar?
Yeah. In fact, what got them caught is killing close to home, which gets a lot of killers caught.
It was because they were killed Cindy.
Yeah, exactly. Cindy, that was like the direct tie. There was another girl that I might have time to talk about. Her name was Chevelle, and that was in 1985 when she goes missing. They couldn't really pin it on them yet, but they kind of knew that they were involved. Another reason they got away for so long is because they were thrill killers. Okay, so yeah, they would go rape prostitutes and dump them down mines and all this stuff and have their seminal fluid everywhere. Ew. But as a thrill killer, they would just love getting high on meth and going up to someone sleeping in their car and blowing their head off with a shotgun.
What?
And you can't really link them to that, right? All right, so the duo loved meth and they also loved to gamble a lot. Gambling in California was legal at the time, but they would rather go to Lake Tahoe or Nevada, okay? They would do meth the entire time down. So they're driving their car, doing meth, drinking hard liquor, driving to a casino to spend all of their money hoping they're going to get rich. I mean, this is how smart these guys are, right?
I mean, they sound like they're making some good life decisions to me, but what do I know?
Of course, they never got rich or won anything, but they did run out of meth and money. So once they blow all their money at the casino, and now they don't even have enough money to buy their favorite drug, meth, then their tempers are flaring. September 1984. Now, this is the first known murder I'm going to tell you about. And I couldn't find the murder in any newspaper. So the information is kind of scarce with this one. But in September 1984, they were driving back to San Joaquin County. They noticed a car stopped along the Highway 88. Now, this is in Hope Valley. And there's a man in the car. His name is Henry Howell. He's of Santa Clara. Now, from what I found and from the interviews that were done, I believe he was a Native American because they kept calling him an Indian and stuff like that. But I couldn't really find much more information about that. But we do know that he was pulled over to the side of the road because he was sleeping off an intoxication, right? He didn't want to drive because he was drunk. So, doing the right thing seems to get you killed.
Did you know that if you are under the influence and you're just sitting in your car, even if you're not moving, like if you have your key in the ignition, you could technically get a DUI because you're technically operating the vehicle. So if you're ever taking a nap and you like to sleep off the drunk, do not put the key in the ignition. If you want heat, get a blanket.
They're pissed off because they lost all their money like usual. They have no meth. There's this guy sitting on the side of the road sleeping in his car. Now, they most likely were hoping it was a prostitute and the John. They were basically going to kill the guy and then rape the prostitute and kill her too. That's basically how they were going to do things. Mm-hmm. But it was just this one guy, this 41-year-old guy named Henry Howell, sleeping, intoxicated. Shermantine walks up. Now, they have a shotgun and taps on the glass. Beep, 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 beep. Or click, click, click. He taps on the glass, and the guy's like, oh, what's going on? He probably thinks it's a cop. Wes says, are you okay, buddy? What's going on, buddy? Are you okay? And then immediately puts a shotgun right to his face and pulls the trigger. And the guy is like, it's a shotgun, so his brain is all over the car. And they just leave. There was no reason to kill the guy. They just did it to do it. They're thrill killers. So this is the interview. He calls him the Indian dude.
I remember. Yeah, we were there. Which one? The one with the Indian dude. You were there? What happened on that one? What killed that guy? Why is he saying you did it? I don't know. Okay. Tell me. So I can fit his story and your story. Who are we going to believe? Well, to tell you the truth, we coming down the road and he seen some dude lay on the side of the road kind of out of his car or something, or hitchhiking or something. We turn around and Wes robbed him and killed him too. The dude was so drunk that the dude would have never known nothing anyway. So Wes, he had to kill that dude. Kill somebody for $45.
In his 1999 confession to San Joaquin County homicide detectives, Herzog referred to the crime as the murder of that Indian dude, referring to Howell, who is American Indian. We were coming down the road and he sees some dude fucking lying on the side of the road, said Herzog. Wes robs him and kills him too. The dude was so drunk that the dude would have never fucking known nothing anyways. Wes didn't have to kill that dude.
This is showing you that Wes Shermantine actually wears the pants in this relationship.
He's a cold-blooded son. Yes, sir, has no emotions. He's a cold-blooded killer, man. I don't know if you guys understand why they're so scared of him so long. I understand. I think scared of him. I told my wife that only one person in the world scares me. Time to lock his up, huh? Oh, you sure? Yes, sir. Been time a long time ago. Yeah. Wish it would have been done a long time ago. I know. Like I told you before, it starts now. We're going to be putting him away.
Yeah, so he's definitely scared of him. Here's basically how this stuff unravels. In 1999, they arrest both of them, okay, and they pressure Loren here to, come clean and even blame it all on Wes, as long as they figure out what happened and where all the bodies are. And that's basically what he does. But then Wes, he doesn't really blame it on Loren, but if you watch his interview, he's like, yeah, me and my buddy, my homeboy type of thing, like we did this, like we. And in Loren's case, this interview is like, he made me do this, you know what I'm saying? they talk about him having some power over Loren.
If we take Wes to jail and charge him with murder, will that change anything for you? And be honest with me. If it won't, then just say no. But yes or no. If we are successful in taking him to jail and charging him with murder, will that change anything for you as far as Wes's power over you? Or will it go with him wherever he goes? Will he always have the power to reach out and keep you silent? Well, give it some thought, okay?
Yeah, I really think so.
All right.
That hold that Wes has over you that we talked about earlier, right?
She said I didn't have to say.
I'm not asking you to tell me what it is, okay? I mean, even though the curiosity, all right, is killing me. However, are you worried about it from a legal stand, but that you would get in trouble with the law? That he would snitch you off because you would get in trouble? Are you worried about that? Or are you worried about Wes doing something to you or your family?
What worries you the most, Loren?
All of it.
Equally?
Nah.
And that's how the media portrayed it, and all the detectives was like, this guy is going along with it, right? I hope you guys will think that, because a lot of detectives think that this guy was just as active. I mean, he was there with all the murders, 100 murders, buried all the bodies, and his seminal fluid was in all the prostitutes.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he was raping the victims. So even if he didn't kill them, he was raping them and then disposing their bodies.
And an accomplice to murder.
Exactly.
Right.
And the reason they actually got this guy, or the reason they actually brought these guys in there, is because they actually found blood in Shermantine's trunk of his car from Cindy, because he let his car payments relapse and the car got towed. So they just looked in it after it was towed and they found the blood that matched. Anyway, let me get on with this. Now, as far as an MO goes, very disorganized. They wouldn't plan anything out. They would just go shoot someone at random and either leave, or they would abduct a prostitute or whatever, murder them and dump them in the mine shafts. Okay, they murdered for pleasure, so they were thrill killers, and usually while on methamphetamine. But I'm going to quickly go over this murder. This may be the second murder, but no one really knows. This is November 27th, 1984, so this is a few years before the Cindy murder. This is 2 months after the Howell murder. Remember, I told you the Indian that was sleeping in his car on the side of the road. This is 2 months after, which means they had a good cooling off period, as the FBI calls it, to make them, serial killers do a cooling off period. Now, November 27th, 1984, San Joaquin Police Department, they're called to a rural highway outside of Stockton. Now, they're responding to a report of two people passed out in the car on the road. Now, this is in the area where prostitutes would bring their johns, because it's private. Both of the victims, Howard King, a 35-year-old, and Paul Raymond Kavanaugh, 31, were both dead with gunshot wounds. And there was no clues. There was no way they could connect these guys with the Speed Freak killers, because, they shot them and then booked it, right? And they didn't even know these guys to start with. Mm-hmm. So they just did that just for a thrill, to get adrenaline, killed two people for adrenaline. Now, this is actually where they made their first mistake, because the tire impressions were left in the dirt, and later that linked to Wes Shermantine's truck. So no one knows for a fact how many were killed, but they were both tried for 4 murders, first-degree murders. Okay, so tell me, what do you think the sentencings are?
Hopefully 1 count of life in prison per murder.
How many people were in the car? You said 2, I think, right?
I think there was. Probably should have been sad.
I don't know. Like I said, like I told you, we already know what happened. Okay. Now it's your version. Are you happy about this?
No way.
Were you happy about it then?
No. During September of 1985, do you know of any girls or anyone that Wes Shermantine had killed during that period of time?
That must be one.
And how do you know that?
Because I can't think of any other.
This is Chevy Wheeler, Chevelle Wheeler.
Okay.
He's talking about.
Well, is this an assumption? Are you just assuming he killed her, or were you there, or did he tell you about it?
No, there's a girl he killed.
And how do you know that?
I was with him.
That's what you need to tell me.
So, like, he's
just saying he's there.
always there, but yet he never does it. Right.
Except we know he's sexually assaulting.
Exactly. So it's like, come on. But this is the girl. So basically, she actually was playing hooky from school, and she got into drugs and stuff like that. But she was actually coming back out of the rut. You know, she was only 16. She was getting good grades and stuff like that. But she just wanted to skip school and hang out with these two losers.
I wonder why he's the one that's talking and why the other guy is staying silent.
I'm gonna tell you that in a minute.
Okay.
I don't even remember how he picked her up or whatever. I just remember that he killed the girl and stabbed her to death. I don't know where that's her.
Stabbed her to death.
Did you try to stop it? Loren, you need to talk. No. Did she ask you to help him? Did Wes ask you to help him take care of the body afterwards? What happened to the body? I don't know. First time that you saw Wesley
that's
Shermantine
good. No, it's horseshit.
Yeah, it is all horseshit. Anyway, you asked a really good question. Why Wes Shermantine isn't really talking. And this is him right here in his interrogation. Just a little clip.
Congratulations. Now that you're engaged, it's time to plan your party.
Why am I getting these fucking
There's lots to do.
I know.
You're responsible. You know what? You know, there's, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, look at this dude.
with Cindy's disappearance. I would have been gone a long time ago.
They do not
Are
look
you
like they're
afraid
the
of
same
anybody
age.
Out
I
there,
know.
somebody threatening you? No.
See, he's just very like, you know, I didn't
He's very
do it.
abrasive.
Yeah. There's very different personality dynamics. Now,
You know how the other guy kind of looks like? I've decided, not this one, but the quote
Loren.
unquote attractive one.
Yeah.
You remember that show Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looked like Ty, but with long hair.
No, he looks like Dax Shepard with long hair.
Yeah, I could see that too.
now this is why I believe that Wes isn't really talking because
This guy looks like John C. Reilly.
because he's in prison, and if you want to get information like, you know, where's my daughter buried, you got to pay up.
Sheriff's investigators are once again searching this area near the former Shermantine property. They are looking for more human remains believed to be victims of Loren Herzog and Wes Shermantine.
His cadaver dog was getting hits all over the places, from one mountaintop to another mountaintop.
Eric Hammond allowed search dogs on his property. He said bounty hunter Leonard Padilla and his team got several hits here. Padilla says he received a new letter from Shermantine saying there are more victims out here. It reads, I will make a map to both as soon as our deal is kept. I have proven I am telling the truth all the way. Now it's your turn. He is asking Padilla to pay his restitution of $18,000 plus money on his books.
They don't need to pay him for something that they can find easy. They're right on the...
So Wes is in prison on death row. He's still on death row and in San Quentin, and this guy Padilla, who you just heard, he was a bounty hunter, and basically Wes reached out to him and was like, if you give me 30 grand, I'll tell you where some bodies are. Like money for bodies type of scheme going on here.
I don't know if that's how it works in prison. Like, what are you going to use that money for? Like
For the canteen.
Lots of ramen.
Yeah, ramen. Yeah.
Hey, you got that spicy chicken noodle?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I actually do enjoy ramen, like from the packet.
This is a letter that he wrote to the Record, which is the newspaper there.
Scott Smith or any reporter.
Yeah. Now he refers.
Please, someone just tell my story.
He's got a shitty handwriting font, and he refers to himself in the third person.
That's not the worst handwriting I've ever seen.
See, this is him.
Actually.
It looks like a more feminine.
Yeah.
It looks like he's running and writing because the T's are like, you know, going
That
in the wind.
means something, though.
To mix like
he's a
capital
fucking
and
psychopath,
lowercase.
maybe.
Well, I don't remember. There is some handwriting analysis stuff.
I'm going to put all these letters on talkmurder.com for you guys to see. But a few things to point out here. I hold the key to information to where Herzog's victims are. Okay, this is Wesley Shermantine, the one that everyone
Hasn't really been talking.
Exactly. So he's blaming all this on Herzog at this point. In the case of Chevy Wheeler was supposedly a writing accident. It was Herzog who took her writing at Shermantine. Like, he refers to himself in the fucking third person.
I think that's the property at Shermantine Cabin Ranch.
Yeah, so that's where she was buried.
I say now, it will have to be a hell of a, in one word, H-E-L-L.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a deal to have me shack up with another male in my cell. For I've lived alone for the last 10 years. Under earplugs in my own world, I can do it another 10, it says.
So he's
That's
actually...
just like an interesting PS to put. Like,
yeah, and it's like twice as long as the fucking real letter. Herzog got 78 years in prison. Okay, which is good, right?
Yeah, can't get out.
And the other guy is on death row. He's still on death row.
In March 2012, Shermantine wrote a letter to a local television station in Sacramento where he claims he can lead investigators to more of Herzog's victims and a third man involved in the murders. He claimed that there are as many as 72 victims, but he said until Leonard Padilla pays him the $33,000 that he said he would pay, he would not give the information up. I really want to believe in Leonard, but I have these doubts he'll come through, which is a shame because I've been holding up the best for last.
Which is
Shermantine
fucked
wrote.
up, isn't it? You know?
Also, it's interesting that he is saying Herzog's
exactly
victims.
yeah, and it's also interesting that he is clearly saying that he's withholding information from police. And
The
also,
best for last? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but he's trying to get he's trying to get
I
money.
understand that, but like still, in $33,000 in the scheme of things, I mean, that's someone's salary, you know, but at the same time, it's not that, like, it's not.
Yeah, how much ramen can you buy for $33?
Well, he said
Probably a lifetime
he said he
supply.
had $18,000 in restitution, which I'm not sure what that was for. I don't know, like, who do you pay restitution to?
I don't know,
Victims? Family, but still, like, that is such an odd amount.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, it's even less. Like, if he had $18,000 in restitution to pay, then that's like only $15,000 for him. Maybe he just calculated that's all he needs for ramen.
All I gotta say is thank God for our justice system and how it works really well.
Thank God it's not Canada.
I'm sensing some
Learned a lot of
sarcasm.
things. First of all, I did not know there was that many computers in Lassen County because I've had thousands of emails.
This is the Sheriff Warren. This is about Herzog.
But the underlying tone of a lot of the emails is how can we allow this to happen? And I could go into some of the things that have caused this to happen, such as what they had said there. We did not know about this, not even in the slightest. We get compared now to Modoc County, we get compared to San Joaquin, we get compared to Tehama County, and the biggest difference, in fact, the only difference really, is that they had a lot of lead time. I don't know if that's why we didn't have lead time.
Okay, here's basically what he's talking about, and this is kind of hard to explain, but I'm gonna try my best.
We believe in you.
This is what he's talking about right here. If you want to read this, Nicole.
Herzog was at the beginning of a 78-year prison sentence for 3 murder convictions when appeals court in 2004 ruled investigators illegally coerced his confession.
Ooh.
Without the confession, prosecutors said they were left little evidence and had no choice but to offer Herzog a deal to plead guilty to voluntary manslaughter for the killing of Cindy Vander Heiden, 25. His 78 prison sentence was reduced to 14 years.
Shit.
And he was released on parole in September 2010 after serving 11 years.
What?
With credit for time served dating back to his 1999 arrest and time off for good behavior, the prison system was unable to hold him longer.
Holy shit.
Oh, I feel so defeated now.
Wow.
Why was that sheriff so excited then?
No, he wasn't. He was saying, because that guy, here's how it worked. In his last 3 years of parole, he has to be in prison, but he gets moved to this sheriff's town, and the sheriff didn't know. This is like his little county, and there were protests everywhere because this serial killer's moving in town. And on his
While he's still in prison, you mean?
Well, on his parole, Right.
Okay, he's out of prison and he's on.
Kind of. The terms of his agreement, I don't think has ever been done like this, is he's out of prison, but he has a trailer that is in prison. So he's got his own trailer inside the prison fence.
I'm sorry.
And he can leave and go as he pleases
I have
out of the
never heard
prison
of
and
this
everything else,
before.
as long as he comes back to the trailer. He can go into the bars, kill people, do meth, whatever, because he's basically free, but he's got to live on the prison for a few years.
What?
It's fucking nuts,
This is
man.
quite the arrangement.
So it's like he's like not. He doesn't even have to pay rent or anything. He's literally like
he's got a day pass.
Yeah.
Maybe I could commit a crime at like Disney or something, and they can set me up with one of those deals where I
That'd be
have to
cool.
live on the premises. I mean, honestly, though, when you think about it, like in order to do that, you'd probably have to sell your soul to the corporation, and I'm not about to do that.
Hey, read that. I want to put it in.
Disney can't be that bad to sell your soul to, right?
I mean,
there are worse
I've heard there are some ties to the Illuminati, but we're not going to go into that.
Right.
Shermantine, he's on death row.
Right.
Trying to avoid a death penalty if it ever
Right.
comes back to California. So what he starts doing is, you saw that letter, he starts saying Herzog's playing ground, and this is where Herzog did this and that and the other. Now, when he's coming out and he's saying, hey, I'm about to let you guys know all these bodies, where all these bodies are positioned.
Mm-hmm. He's giving prosecutors a reason to arrest Herzog for different murders.
Exactly.
So that it's not double jeopardy.
Exactly.
Bingo. Which, did you ever watch that movie?
No, I don't think I did.
It was with Ashley Judd. That was actually a really good movie.
I've heard of it, and I meant to watch it, but I just have never seen it. Just add it to the list of the other movies I've never seen.
I watched it like fairly recently. I think it was on like Amazon Prime recently.
You know what I think?
It was good.
You know what I think I'm gonna order, and I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation before, but I'm gonna order that scratch off movie thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It's like a list of movies, and you scratch them.
Oh, cool. I like that idea.
That sounds cool.
That is a cool idea.
And we should bring back the movie box.
Shermantine's on death row still, sitting there, still giving bodies out for money. Like, he's going to be doing that till the day he dies, right? And justice was not served in this case, or was it?
Speed-free killer, apparent suicide in state-issued trailer.
They didn't really investigate it too much, but he hung himself in his trailer on the prison. Air quote.
So before he actually got out. So is this when the sheriff is getting all excited about this, or no?
No, this was, he moved.
He just seemed happy.
No, he
in that
wasn't happy.
speech.
He was pissed. If you watch the whole thing, that he got all those thousands of, because they moved to this little county. They didn't even tell the sheriff they're moving this serial killer who's a free man. Yeah, he's got to live at the prison, but he
that's
can
only
come
gonna
and
last for so long.
exactly.
too.
So he moves down here, and literally a year before he's finally free to go wherever the fuck he wants, he kills himself. This is Loren Herzog in his trailer, his state-issued trailer, by hanging himself.
Perhaps that's why that dude wanted $33,000.
You know what? I don't think he killed himself, because the dad of Cindy, and I have a good quote in here somewhere, said he wants to actually see the body, because this guy won't kill himself because he's too much of a coward. He said something to those words, but it makes
You're
sense.
a pussy.
If the guards killed him, I mean, justice kind of is served, because he would have got out and killed a lot more people, done meth, and just been a shithead.
Or just the fact that he could have walked free when he clearly
was
had
going
a
to walk
part
free.
in so many murders.
That's what I'm saying. I think one of the guards took him out. Because you remember...
But that's what I'm saying, is that maybe that's
Yeah.
what Shermantine wanted that money for, is to pay somebody to go kill him.
Well, no, why would he want to kill him?
Because why should Herzog walk free when he has to go spend his life in
that's
prison?
a good point. I didn't think about
I'd
that.
be pissed if that
Yeah.
was if
that's
that
a
was
good
my
point.
murder accomplice. I'd be like, what the fuck? You get
But
to go free?
That
asshole.
That shows you the dynamic personalities, because I mean they were friends since kindergarten.
I would think it was Shermantine then.
And
Or, like, he had
Shermantine
something
is
to do with
such
it.
a fucking evil person that he would kill his childhood friend. I mean, and he would. He was pissed. That's why he was going to release all those bodies,
That's my
because he
theory.
didn't want his friend to be out, which is kind of fucking crazy. So that's basically how that story ends. Now, there's been controversy over the sheriff department in Linden because people want them to keep digging. because there's a lot more bodies out there. I mean, there are probably literally 100 bodies because a 15-year period, you think they just stopped killing people and they are thrill killers? So this is them digging.
The scene has really turned into what looks more like an archaeological dig. They pulled earth from about 35 feet down in the ground in this old well. It's a century-old well from the 1800s.
Look at that shit. It looks like something Jesus or Moses would walk into.
And, they're going through. The digging has been suspended now while they sift through the dirt, and they've found fragments of skulls, bones, small and large, human teeth. Of course, what goes along with that, they found human shoes, a woman's purse, a ring which appears to be engraved with initials in it. They haven't identified who these remains belong to.
Yeah, so they're still finding bodies, man. That was Scott Smith. He was the reporter for the Record covering the case.
That's awful.
But let me read you what Kara said.
Kara.
Let me read you what Kara said. She says, I'm not sure why this story hasn't been covered by more podcasters because these guys possibly killed up to 72 victims during their meth-fueled crime spree. And I don't know either. I mean, I knew about this case last year, and I don't know why I didn't do it, really. I mean, it definitely intrigued me, but I don't know why. Wesley, Shermantine, and Loren Herzog would be hopped up on speed and then kidnap, torture, and murder their victims, and as was found out years later, drop their remains and belongings down a well on the property of one of their parents. One particular victim was Cindy Vanderheiden, and I remember her pictures up on billboards for years, with her family searching for any answers about what happened to her. This happened in and around my hometown of Lodi, California.
Oh, wow.
Lodi, California. Years later, a bounty hunter. Now, this is the guy, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
The guy that was paying Shermantine,
Or said he would,
Palladine or something. Years later, a bounty hunter type guy made a deal with the surviving member of the murderous duo to confess to where the bodies were buried. I had vivid nightmares at the time about the recovery of the victims from the well.
Ooh.
I've never forgotten it.
That'd be really scary if that sort of thing happened here. Like that's a shit ton of victims.
Yeah.
And buried all over the place. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Pee Wee Gaskins a little bit, but feels much closer to home. So there's no active theories that are going against. I mean, obviously there are theories, but there's no one looking into the fact that Herzog was a suicide versus homicide.
I didn't see anywhere. Case closed, man. I love it, man. Case closed. I didn't see anywhere. I mean, it's not like an Epstein thing where it's like, oh, fuck, we got to find out. It's just like, oh, he killed himself. I mean, it makes sense that he would kill himself because either that or he'd be in prison, but I don't think he killed himself. He's too much of a wuss,
I don't think he
coward.
would if he was about to get out.
But he's living on prison in the prison grounds. The guards are checking in on him. Oh, my God. He's killed himself. I mean, you remember watching The Wire where that one main character, the drug dealer, got found with the rope around his neck, and they thought he hung himself, but he got murdered. But anyway, that's the Speed Freak killer case. I hope you guys like that.
Yeah. That was crazy. Thank you, Kara, for requesting that one.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. If you like the story, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're absolutely obsessed with this podcast and want to become our Speed Freak, go to talkmurder.com/join, become a Talk Us Primo, get a badass t-shirt, sticker, swag, a lot of love, shout it out all over the place. Tell me what story you want me to do. I'll research it, dedicated to you on Talk Murder Me Podcast. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole, and until next time,
Jesse, let's cook.
Oh my gosh, when we were walking in the parade, in the Somerville Christmas parade, a couple of friends of mine, we were walking. It was after the parade ended, but this guy walked up to us in a trench coat, and he started to say something to us, and I thought he was going to ask us if we wanted to buy any watches, but he didn't. He just said that, have a Merry Christmas.
He just
so it was not as exciting.
He opened his trench coat for his erect penis.
I was also wondering if it was going there. Yes.
How you like this, Jen? And then he runs off. And that guy looked remarkably similar to me. Okay, so
no relation.